pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
Do you have your phone? Do you have his number? Okay.
All right. So this evening, Mr. Calfee is sick and could not be with us. So I need a motion to bring him into the meeting remotely. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hi, Mr. Covey, this is Melissa McCain, I'm the speaker for the meeting, okay? Okay, can you hear me? Okay, thank you.
Hi, Chris. We miss you.
I'm not being there, guys, but trust me, you don't want this.
No, we don't.
He probably needs to stay with us.
Oh, okay. All right, so Mr. Calfee, for the record, would you please state where you are and why you are not here this evening?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Chris Calfee. I'm actually in my home here in Radford, Virginia, and I'm not present due to the flu.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So, let's take a look at our agenda. The consent items.
Let's do consent after the 6-year plan.
Oh, okay.
And you just,
This wasn't in there. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to turn over to you.
okay, perfect.
We have to approve the agenda.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody's looked over the agenda, consent items, information items, everything that was presented to you. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I make that motion.
And a second.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So this meeting is off schedule this afternoon because it's a chance for the board and folks in the audience and at home to see for the first time what it is that we've been working on since January. And it's been a real labor of love, to be honest with you. So I would like to introduce now, in case you haven't met this man, the person that has sort of spearheaded this entire operation from the very beginning. He's going to tell you that he turned it over to us and things like that, but this is the man who got it all started, and we very much appreciate that. So if you would please make welcome Dr. Alan Siebert.
Madam Chair, members, really, truly opportunity. In January, we rolled up our sleeves, spent a big chunk of time together, and really an aggressive timeline to do very, very important work. And you all did your own strengths and opportunities activity that day, and you picked up that one of your primary strengths of your division are the people who serve in it. I have now had the distinct honor and privilege to be in every one of your schools, to work with those faculties and staff, to have opportunities here with division staff. You all were here for that evening opportunity with the community, and I can tell you your assessment of the primary strength of your division was spot on. It is the people who serve there. And so the fact that the things you wanted to see in your plan, which is a way to continue to keep them and support them and recruit more like them, all that stuff has been emulated. But as Dr. Joyce said, as we went out to the schools and we engaged all who serve there in terms of the why they do what they do and give them opportunities to give feedback and do their own look at strengths and opportunities for improvement. I expected, I'd seen this type of process, come together before, but I was not a spearhead. I was a facilitator, and as we had a conversation a couple weeks ago via Zoom to see what the team here has done, it has been brought together in incredibly powerful ways that I could not have anticipated. Again, honor to facilitate it, but to actually see it come together is truly powerful and actually affirms the people that you have. And I think it's wise that your plan continues to look at those things. We talked when we were together in January that, people can trump strategy. Really good people can overcome a bad plan, and disgruntled people can undo a good plan. But when you have really impressive plan coming together, and this is your first review tonight, and you have these incredible people. And then you can add in the culture that exists, that I had the opportunity to experience at all the work sites. These are multipliers. This isn't just 1 + 2 = 3. These things multiply the people, the strategy, the culture. And so it's been a great honor to have the opportunity to facilitate, to see what these extraordinary people have done. And really, it's just, I thank you for this opportunity to be engaged and to see what y'all are doing. And I look forward to seeing how far and fast the team you have built will take things in the future. So other than, I just want to get out of the way and let your team share what they've come up with.
Thank you, Dr. Siebert. So I'll just give folks a brief overview of what the strategic plan, it's in code in Virginia. And it's like maybe the sticker on your car. You know you need that sticker, but you probably wouldn't go get it unless it was required by law. We tend to find ourselves really busy from day to day, and then the weeks become months. And we zoom from August to May in warp speed, and we quite honestly don't take the time sometimes to create plans that are really beneficial for either our school or our division. So it's coded that we do that in law, in Virginia law, so here we are. The good news about that is we enjoyed doing it. It was a labor of love. We got to all the schools. Everyone had input. So it ends up being something that we are glad we get to do, and we're glad we were forced to do it. I want to remind you that vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. So what we're going to do here is combine those two so that we have some real smooth sailing for the next 6 years, and we'll visit this at least every 2 years, okay? So the strategic plan process, like I said, is in Virginia code, but that can be interpreted differently. To me, when someone's asked to perform a task, it's because it's useful and can be beneficial. That doesn't always mean it gets done. So when a task is required, you tend to get things done, forcing you to accomplish a goal you may have otherwise kicked down the road. That's the way many feel about their strategic plan process. You know it's worth the toil and trouble, but if it weren't for being required, you may not have jumped on it as quickly as you should have. You tend to procrastinate. This strategic plan has offered us great insight into what our division collectively, including from the very beginning with these fine board members, was thinking as far as what we offer to our stakeholders, specifically our children and our families in Radford, and what we might want to consider moving forward. So what you'll see this afternoon will be the culmination of months of work that involved each member, potentially in theory, of this division, whether that's from board members to principals, teachers, classified staff, drivers, and family members, and other stakeholders who may not be parents. That in and of itself is a tremendous undertaking. But to know what each person feels is important to the success of our students, staff, and families makes this lift easier because of its immediate, because it is immediate as well as long-term in importance. So what you have behind you is the finished product, and I want to summarize what our instructional environment, engagement, and achievement, our organizational management, our community relations and communication, and our talented and skilled workforce mean in summary, okay? So let's take instructional environment, engagement, and achievement. We aim to enhance the instructional effectiveness and raise student achievement by strengthening support structures, adopting innovative teaching strategies, and broadening access to learning opportunities. We want to expand academic and behavioral support programs to assist students who are facing challenges. We want to provide targeted professional development aligned with instructional goals aimed at improving student outcomes. We want to ensure that all classrooms are equipped with up-to-date and standardized technology to promote high-quality teaching and learning. And finally, we want to adjust our class sizes and staffing levels to support all learners, with particular attention paid to students with disabilities and multilingual learners. For our organizational management, we want to modernize our facilities and improve operational efficiency to strengthen the learning environment. And we want to implement a comprehensive capital improvement plan to address urgent facility needs. The division will continue to improve campus safety through updated infrastructure, protocols, and training. And classrooms will be equipped with up-to-date standardized technology to support instruction with a needs-based budget adopted to meet our division's goals. As far as community relations and communications are concerned, we will enhance community partnerships and communication to create a supportive and engaging school environment by strengthening our communication to build trust with our families, keeping the workforce well-informed and unified throughout the internal communication, through improved internal communication, partnering with local organizations to expand resources and opportunities, and offering additional learning opportunities for families and stakeholders. And what you'll notice on the poster on the board are two pillars. Those pillars represent what it is that in essence lifts this entire division. And those are, like Dr. Siebert mentioned earlier, the talented and skilled workforce. This division aims to attract, retain, and develop a diverse, high-quality workforce by offering competitive salaries, support systems, and professional growth opportunities, by expanding professional development and mentoring, engaging in budget planning and recruitment efforts, creating a staffing plan to meet future needs and maintain appropriate class sizes, and improving recruitment and retention processes to sustain this talented and effective workforce. The arrangement here that looked so nice was, believe it or not, was not me, okay? So at this moment, I'd like for you guys to welcome Dr. McDaniel. She's going to share with you a little bit of the work that she has, she can call hers in this process, which is a lot of it.
Where we're going to kind of tag team.
Okay, then you can bring on Mr. Dye.
Right? Okay. Oh, I thought we had the overall. Is there anything else we need to say about that first?
This one? He summed it up.
Okay, yeah, we were gonna talk about that, but you've already kind of covered it, so, we had a good time working on the overall plan. But then, the next piece is our roadmap, and that's really what we wanna do in year one. How are we gonna get there to all these big goals that we just put on our 6-year plan? What are some of the things we're gonna do in this first year? And we just kind of liked the image of the roadmap, you know, like that's our vision, that's how we're gonna get there. And so the second page gives a little bit more of the specific goals that we have. So for instructional environment, engagement, and achievement, we're gonna expand support and optimize class sizes for students by adding an EL aide, a new SPED teacher at the high school, and an additional elementary teacher, which also works on those class sizes as well. We're going to expand student experiences through new course offerings at the high school, through including DE and new CTE courses, and in the participation in the Bridge to Excellence initiative, and I'm sure you'll hear about that more, but it's a partnership with Pulaski County schools for our students to be able to have some experiences in manufacturing and in healthcare. Next year, we're excited about that. We're going to conduct a needs assessment for a yearly PD plan to allow for personalized training for our instructional staff based on individual and school needs. So that was one of the things, all of these things came out of our data that we collected in that survey that we gave to everyone. That was something that came up several times, was about the need for more professional learning opportunities that were targeted to what they actually needed. So we want to make sure we're it's not just a one-size-fits-all sort of approach. We want to update the code of conduct with a leveled response system that aligns with state codes, because behavior was also a word that came out a lot, dealing with behavioral issues and that sort of thing. So we want to make sure that we are strategic about that and that we have consistency throughout the division and supports in place, and just a lot of things to address that. There's probably going to be a lot more to that, but that's one piece of that puzzle. And then develop and implement a division-wide instructional plan, which is something we kind of work on all the time anyway. Under organizational management, we want to complete a facility study to determine our plans for our facilities, to keep them updated and accessible and all of that. And then continue with our safety measures, coordinate with our police department to determine safety protocols. Safety drills, of course, we added in the reunification piece to our standard response protocol just recently. We'll continue to update our technology plan to ensure that classrooms have current and consistent technology tools and access. and monitor our budget to ensure fiscal responsibility that supports all these goals. And then for community relations, communication and community relations came out in that too. When we were analyzing the information from the survey, Brian and I actually divided it up and read every entry, but we also had a company that analyzed it, but you know, we had to do it ourselves too, just to make sure it was right. So we were a little bit picky about that. But that was something that came out. So we, one of the things we're going to do right before school starts is plan a back-to-school event and partner with some of our community service providers and so forth, and just have a really big party before school starts and welcome everyone back and tell them about all the things, school services and all the other services they might have access to. We have started scheduling monthly meetings with our mental health partners to collaborate on our student needs in that area. We're maintaining a division-wide social media presence and sharing monthly updates with faculty and staff to keep them informed about initiatives the leadership team is planning, and we're working on a process for that. Under the talented and skilled workforce, we included the PD plan under that area too, because there's going to be PD very specific for instruction, and also PD more specific to their professional goals and that sort of thing too. Participate in a variety of job fairs for recruiting, finding a wider range of applicants, and develop a staffing plan for openings so we can fill those in a timely manner. We are trying to add another HR person to help with the onboarding process that has grown and into a very large job for one person. And you know, as we have more turnover, every school division has more turnover now than they have in years past. So again, that makes it more difficult. And then we've implemented tuition reimbursement, and we're trying to implement an instructional coach, and also some paraprofessional development as well. So that's kind of our roadmap for year one. That doesn't mean those are the only things we're going to do, but those are some of the heavy hitters that we want to target immediately.
And I know that's cut off, but we could go from there. If I'm being honest, when I was first asked to be on the committee, I lost a lot of sleep. And it wasn't because of excitement. It was, I hadn't been involved in the process before, but as a teacher, I've received our 6-year plan, and it just did not have our voice in it. So I really feel like this has our whole division's voice, community, our leadership, the teachers. So I'm very excited about the implementation of this, because I do think it's going to have us headed in the right direction. While we went through the data and we were just developing the basic framework, we realized that our current mission, I think, has changed. And as the leadership team, we kind of walked through that process of what is our mission now. And so we just wanted to update it, and I don't have it memorized, so I can't really see it on the screen. But it is more up to date as to where our leadership is taking our division. And once you're able to see the whole thing, I think, which is at the top of the.
Let me turn this so you can say it on
You can.
the microphone.
All right, so it says, previously, the current one is Bradford City Schools aspires to provide a challenging atmosphere in which students prepare for success in life, develop a competitive spirit, and become responsible citizens. What we're proposing our mission to be now is Bradford City Schools, where students are inspired, empowered, equipped to lead meaningful lives through innovative learning and strong relationships that foster growth, purpose, and responsible citizenship. The change in philosophy definitely reflects one of the key structures that were identified through this whole process is relationship. And that's one thing that our division excels in, is relationships between leadership, teachers to students, So we wanted our philosophy or our mission to reflect that. So.
And if you'll recall, in our board workshop way back in January, we reviewed our educational philosophy, and we had kind of the stock verbatim version from VSBA. And when we looked at it, some of the things that we took notes from your comments from that day, that you said you felt it was important that we have something about students being valued, feeling safe, empowered, cared about. And we talked about that we have a very caring community, the teachers are caring, and students care for one another, and they have leadership responsibilities. And responsibility was another key word. And another thing that we took a note on is you noted that it read coldly, and you wanted it to read more warmly and be more of what we actually feel when we're here. So we took the old one, and the old version, I'm not going to read it word for word, is there for you. It's the one in the larger size print, policy AD. And then we updated it. It's a little bit longer, but the new version reads, for the people in the audience, because they don't have a copy of this. The Radford City Public School Board is committed to creating an inclusive and nurturing educational environment where every student is valued, respected, and empowered to thrive. We believe that true learning occurs when students feel safe, supported, and cared for, both as individuals and as members of a compassionate, collaborative school community. Our philosophy centers on supporting each student's intellectual, social, emotional, and physical development while preparing them to communicate effectively with others, succeed in higher education and/or the workforce, make confident, creative, and constructive decisions. We strive to cultivate a caring community in every classroom where teachers demonstrate genuine care, students support one another, and all members are encouraged to take on leadership roles that promote responsibility and a shared sense of purpose. To uphold these values, the Radford City School Board provides dedicated leadership, qualified and compassionate staff, and the necessary tools and resources to ensure a meaningful, high-quality education for every student. Fosters an environment where students feel safe, seen, and empowered to reach their full potential. Ensures all members of the school community are treated with fairness, equity, and mutual respect. Allocates and utilizes resources in a responsible, efficient manner to support positive outcomes and continuous growth. And like I said, it's a bit longer, but I think it's pretty comprehensive. Any questions or comments about that part? Okay.
And if you can recall back to when we first started this process, Dr. Siebert hosted your first workshop. And in one of the activities, he asked you to name one of the people that had an impact on you. And then from there, it flowed into your why. Why do we do what we do? Well, he did that activity with all the other schools, with the leadership here and then each individual school. And we collected that data through the website that you saw. And Dr. McDaniel had an idea of taking that and making a district-wide word cloud that you guys saw live as you were putting it together. So we did that, and we generated it into what we are. The Bobcats are rocking R. The bigger the word, the more times it showed up, and there's that word relationship that I was talking about. So we really feel like this image really captures Radford City Schools, based on the feedback that we got from the entire process. And I've got to say, when I look at it, it brings me chills because I'm proud to be a part of the Bobcat Nation. And it's because of what you see in the Rocking R in that image. So.
And everyone else did the 3 Ys at every school, and they also did the strengths and the opportunities for improvement. And I'll say that the people and the relationships also, and that's, again, why we ended up with, our people as the foundation of our whole plan, too. So I just love this image because I think it really shows what our people are about, because those were their 3 whys when they put it in the word cloud at each school. So we love it and we want to use it on everything.
I refer to this Rockin' R and the mission statement and the policy AD as collateral advantages. What we set out to do was to build a new strategic plan and check the box off at the DOE, okay? What we ended up doing was taking a really deep dive, a really hard look at ourselves to see why we're here and what we want to do moving forward. And our collateral advantages were the mission statement, the policy, and the Rockin' R, which I think they're freebies, you know? Those were things that just generated themselves. So I'm really, really proud of the work that Dr. McDaniel and Mr. Dye have done. I can take just very little. The credit I'll take is putting them in the spot and then walking away. And so I'll take that credit. Otherwise, it was completely these folks here. Every time we met, every time, we set up a meeting once a week, and some of those I would attend, some of those I wouldn't, but every time I came back to those meetings, there was all this work done. And I felt really good. And and Dr. Siebert, he'll agree, I told him, I said, it's these two. And the team. And then, of course, the folks who were participating and honest with us and gave us their true feedback. And that's how we landed here. So we are happy to answer questions. This is your first look at it. We will put this on the agenda for our May meeting and let you guys approve it, okay? Unless you tell me different. And everyone has a copy of the artifacts and the evidence. But I just want you to know it was a journey full of eye-opening experiences that reinforced why we're all here.
I definitely appreciate the work that everyone has put into this, and I love that these are the words that were like mostly used. I love that.
Yeah. You know, I was getting a little too edgy. I said, let's just throw that Rockin' R up there as our mission statement. And they said, you know, nicely, they said, no, we better not go that crazy, but that could be our mission statement. That's why we're here. That's what we aim to do. Other comments or questions?
I really like the specifics in this roadmap, because in a year, we can go back and reflect and sort of measure how did we do on those things. I think that's really important.
Yeah, the next step for us as a team is to create some jobs, objectives, and who's going to do those jobs and check those boxes, and when they're going to, by when will they have that completed. So you guys also get a look at that.
Yeah, and how it's evaluated and how often and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, right, we're not just, you know, we're not going to throw this up on the shelf. We were warned not to do that by Dr. Siebert. So it's a breathing, living document.
How often do you think we'll get updates? Or do you know?
We work at the board's discretion. But
I went through and circled a few of these things, and that support one another is where it's at, because you guys did it. I mean, that's why you come up with all this.
yeah.
You can't do it with just one person, so y'all done a really good job, in my opinion.
But now the code says we update it every 2 years, but I can't imagine us putting this away for 2 years. I can imagine us revisiting this document and doing a little wellness check on it way more often than that. So
I just want to frame this and like put it up.
Really.
I was thinking tattoo.
Wow! You went hardcore, Jane. Yes, that would be pretty. If you made it that big, it would be pretty.
yeah, how about we get you a sticker and you can stick it?
Sticker will do.
Temporary
One of
tattoos.
those wet ones that you put on and
Sure.
pull it off. That'll work.
Sure.
Well, I'm just relieved to have this, because I worked here for 20 years. I don't remember ever seeing one. Did I miss something? You know, was there a 6-year strategic plan and nobody ever showed me?
I don't think they were on my girls.
Because I'm just really glad to have it in place. Yeah, thank you.
I will say, speaking of the years that have gone by, this educational philosophy policy AD has been updated 12 times since 1991. To me, that shows a few things. One is the board changes, you know, and we sort of, like an amoeba, we move, and like water, we find paths, but it just means to me that the times have changed. And so the board and education has to change with it. K-12 has come a long way since 1991, when this policy was first adopted. And so now you guys collectively get to put your stamp on what we think is most meaningful moving forward in the year 2025. Anything else? Perfect. Thank you all very much.
Moving on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take a look at your consent items. And I would entertain a motion to approve those consent items.
I make a motion to approve the consent items.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the consent items are approved. Do we have, we probably don't have anyone signed up to speak tonight. No? Okay, moving on. So, we're back to you, Dr. Joyce, and your report.
Thanks very much. So the first item on your agenda under my report is a budget update. I have had a lengthy conversation with Stride K-12 today in Roanoke, and I would respectfully ask that we table that agenda item until she and I and her team can have more discussions about the enrollment from Stride K-12 and what that would look like for us moving forward. So if you guys don't mind, I mean, the governor he's dragging his feet too, so I'm not going to take all the blame, but if we could come back in May and revisit this item, I'll have a lot more information, and hopefully the governor will have signed our budget for the state by then. Fair enough? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know that that needs a vote. Okay. Now I'd like to welcome Miss Stephanie Schul to talk a little bit about salary scales, or are you? Okay. She's deferring. Sorry, you're it. But now she did a lot of work, so I thought she might want to take credit for it.
The salary scales are based on what was included in the budget to give a 3% raise, and so each individual year of experience as the teacher moves up, they would get 3% raise. So, and that's the way it is on all the scales, except for one. Brian, can you bring up the paraprofessional? Maybe you scroll through them, that's fine. But, okay, there's a school psych, right here, right here. The only one that actually has a higher than 3% raise is the homebound teacher rate. We had discussed that it is, at the rate it was difficult to get our homebound teachers to work at a rate that was less than what they could get paid to do like all-in tutoring. So we made the suggestion to raise that up to $40. Scroll down through the rest of them. If you all have any specific questions, be happy to answer.
So when I asked to table the budget discussion on the agenda earlier, that this will not change. No matter what we do with the budget, this won't change. So that's why we would like, if you are so inclined, to have this as an action item later if we decide to do so. Any questions about salary scales? Okay. Next up, we have the policy AD for your consideration. So we've talked about that, and you are also invited, for lack of a better term, to move that to action items if you feel like that's the way to go.
Should we go ahead and make a motion to approve, or no, salary scales are already there, right? Mm-hmm. So really, I just need a motion to approve file AD as it's been amended.
To be moved to an action
To
item,
be moved to an action item, yes.
not approval of the thing itself.
Yes, right.
I
Sorry.
move that we move the educational philosophy file AD onto our action item part of the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, Perkins Plan.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll move into action items, and I would like to welcome to the podium Ms. Kirsten Mosby with our Perkins Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Move that down a little bit. All right, so here I am again. Good to see you all again. Thank you for having me tonight and allowing me to share with you the 25-26 Perkins Plan. Before I get started, I wanted to thank a few people. First, Mrs. Boyd joined me yesterday visiting Radford High School, listening to me talk about CTE and Perkins, and then touring some of our classrooms. Second, Mr. Dobbins, Dr. McDaniel, Dr. Joyce, all for coming out a couple weeks ago to our CTE Advisory Committee, and of course all of your all support throughout the last few months. At the advisory meeting, we had a good turnout of industry, school personnel, teachers, and local members, and I appreciate the conversation we had that night. And finally, I want to thank Kim Wade, Teresa Phillips, J.C. Hamilton, Brian Dye, Carrie Long, and especially Cindy Blankenship for all their hard work that they give me and help me, because without them, I would not be able to do this by myself. Especially Cindy, she puts a lot of hard work into helping me understand what I'm doing most of the time. So I do appreciate her quite a bit. Do you have a clicker? Yeah, thanks. Okay, so let's move into Perkins. So I'm going to be talking about the 25-26, but a lot of Perkins Plan is based off of what we've done this year until we get our new allocation. So basically, what is the Perkins Plan? You can see that from the Virginia Department of Education, a newsletter from last year. It kind of gives us an example of how we run our grant from July 1 to June 30th. It's to develop more fully the academic knowledge and technical and employability skills of secondary education students and post-secondary education students who elect to enroll in career and technical education programs and programs of study. So you can see how the federal regulations impact the calculations of our allotment and what we get, which, as we'll move into in a minute, I'll talk a little bit about the 24-25 school year, the programs and courses, our teachers, and our exams or credentialing certifications. So we started this year with $29,078.92. Before we can touch that $29,000, we have to spend down our state in special equipment and STEM H. So we purchased items suggested by the audit from last year. So there's always a few things that we can do to improve and make sure we're staying on task with that. We did buy new equipment to help expand and improve current programs. And the STEM H also goes in with credential exams, OSHA test, workplace readiness, which is also credential, but it does have its own section within Perkins. So we do a lot of spending before we can even get to the actual Perkins part of life. Okay. So with just Perkins money left to spend, the focus becomes the students, the programs, the curriculum, professional development, and the partnerships that we develop in our community. So we ask the students, whoops, go back, there we go. Or we talk to the students, we find out what they want, and it begins at registration. So Ms. Rowland and I, we go into the rooms, we do a lot of talking with the students, introducing more programs to them, and getting their interest. And this is also what I submit when I do the new applications. I submit our registration numbers and how we go about looking at what the students are wanting for their experiences. We do field trips or field experiences, so we want to have the students see what is out there. We want to see where they belong, and that they do belong somewhere. Opportunities to learn new things, like fix an engine, cut metal, create 3D modeling, make flower arrangements, help a sick animal learn how to insert an IV, edit a newscast, understand the components of an electrical box, and fix a computer, and teach young children are just some of the things that we want our students to get and feel of, to understand if that's something they want to do. And so we take them everywhere, and that's with the help of our community, our colleges, our community college, our schools, our teachers that all want to get our students out there and find out what they want. So within that, the RH programs, as we're growing, new and improvement. So what I'm doing this year is really focusing on our new small engine program. So a lot of my Perkins this year has gone to purchasing all those items that build that program. For example, 18 new engines have arrived and are being stored at this moment. 18 toolbox kits, face shields, oil cans, and so many more tools and DeWalt drills and things that I pretend I know what I'm doing and talking about. And my husband asked me the other day if I knew a certain tractor, and I said no, but I will learn about it. So we're very excited of being able to get, lawnmowers in and being able to fix those next year and building that community, building that entrepreneurship, small business entrepreneurship for our students. So that's going to be really fun for our community to have that at their beck and call, so to speak. And then we're also working on improving current programs, our culinary equipment. We always need new cutting boards. I just purchased 11 chef knives, new aprons and hats. And I think a lot of it is we've been touring some schools as we go on to this 4x4, and we're seeing what other schools are doing, and we want to be like them. We want to be better than them, and part of it is we want our students to feel professional, and that means looking the part too. So we need better things like aprons. They need to have hats on, so let's make them chef hats. So those are things that we want our students to look and feel good about when they're in their programs. New cameras for TV and media production. As we know, technology is always changing, so we want the most up-to-date things. Gardening tools. If you all came out to the gardening or the garden sale, our students worked really hard, and there's still a lot of flowers left if you need to come back and buy more. And then, of course, just even things like grooming kits for our pet grooming section. You can bring your dog and get your dog groomed. Just remember that for our veterinary science program. And then accessories and drafting, things that you see behind you that are being done, sanders and precision machining, our Raspberry Pi 5 single board computers. So that was fun to order because I don't know what they are, but they are really awesome and they're really, really cute. New tools and electricity, and of course safety geared equipment all the time to make sure we are up to legal standards. All right, so the curriculum and professional development. Teachers, I'm always asking them, look ahead. What's going to support your program? How are you going to help your students learn their competencies, like their standards? And so, for example, Ms. Gibbons wanted an ISEV platform. We were fortunate that textbooks took care of that this year, but that is something that Perkins can take the place of if need be. It's basically its own separate platform where the teachers can go in and get help with lesson guides, help with testing. So she's actually getting ready to do her credentialing exam, and it's part of that ISEV platform that we've purchased. Another program or a company that we work with is Reality Works. So they are some hands-on tools that I've brought with me. So for example, medical terminology, think, oh, you're just going to sit and do your vocabulary, but we have blocks. You want to do this? Make hydrocephalus for me?
Yes, ma'am.
So each color represents a different part of the word as they're learning their medical terminology. And so hydro.
Hold please. Hold please. Okay.
Hydro, and then the yellow is the O. Hydrocephalus. So if you don't know, hydrocephalus runs in my family. So that was the first one that came to mind that I was able actually to find in the bag I picked up. So that's what our students are doing in midterm. Learning things just differently. I'm a visual person, so I like being able to make sure our students have access to being able to pick up those midterms very easily and color coded. Thank you so much. All right, so professional development, our Perkins also pays for this. So I've been to a couple conferences. I'm learning every day more and more things, but I'm encouraging our teachers to go to their summer conferences as well to learn more about their trade or get recertified, like in OSHA 10, all those things that keep them motivated to come back and teach our kiddos and also make sure they are ready for the next question that might pop up. Okay, so looking ahead into 25-26. We're only losing one teacher, and Ms. Edwards is retiring, so it's not a bad loss. We're happy for her, but we are replacing her with a brand new teacher, Mr. Hall, and then we're also getting, our new small engine teacher as well. So we're retaining our teachers as well, which is really positive and exciting. We know the plan's going to be rejected because we don't have our new money yet, so we expect it to come back, and if there's anything else that we fix, we do that during that time frame that we're allotted. And then obviously we're going to continue evaluating goals and purpose, new opportunities, increase big name industry credentialing exams that we're going to give those. We're already doing that. We had 80% pass rate in the workplace readiness exam this year on the first round, which was awesome. So our numbers of how many tests we're giving have also increased substantially. We had 6 out of 9 students pass the NIMS, which is machining level 1 test, on the first round. And so we're remediating those students this week to hopefully give again. And then we're getting prepared to do the Autodesk and drafting, and then principles of floral design and veterinary medical application exams in the next 2 weeks. We want to promote programs. We want to be more completers. A completer is when students complete the sequence and they're on graduation track. So as soon as we know that, they become a completer. And then, of course, we're building out the credentialing exam to go with those completers. And we are a comprehensive program that allows our students to start earlier in high school in the CTE programs, and that's what I love most about Radford, is that our students know about CTE in middle school when they're coming through, and our new GoTech program hopefully will expand that as well. But they're experiencing CTE as freshmen, and a lot of other schools have to wait until they're juniors. And so we're able to really that's part of their curriculum. That's what they know they're going to have. Either a CTE or a fine art is fine too, but they're excited about the classes they can take before they even enter high school. And then, of course, our new partnerships. MOG, we have, hopefully, we have 1 for sure, 2 maybe, of youth apprenticeships. We had 2 interviews over break, and the week before that we took some students to MOG. They interviewed for a youth apprenticeship program, and so that is really exciting because they will basically be working, earning money, and then paying for them to go to school after graduation. And they're both juniors, so they have a whole year still with us. And then, like Dr. McDaniel said, our Bridge to Excellent partnership with Pulaski and Manufacturing Health Education is just getting our students out into the workforce, into the real world, and seeing firsthand what are the things and opportunities they can do to be successful. Okay, doodles. So in closing, Perkins, it keeps us in check. It allows us to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. We follow rules and procedures. We spend our money efficiently. We make sure everything is going well. It keeps us focused on the needs of our students and what they want and what they need in order to thrive in our town and in the city of Radford. And it provides funds that allow our teachers to have strong programs, and it allows our students to be creative and innovative as they become successful citizens in our community, because we want them to stay and work or come back or whatever it needs to be. We want them to come back and talk about their opportunities and be part of just be part of our community all the time. So, any questions?
I don't have a question, but I would just say how much I enjoyed the opportunity to come in and meet with you and learn more about the Perkins Grant and what it covers and what it doesn't cover, and just came away very excited about the opportunities for our students.
Wow.
Because it's becoming more important for our accountability with the state, and it's just and every student isn't a candidate for 4-year college. So I really like seeing all these choices and opportunities.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming too. It's our teachers. I mean, I just listen to what they want and what they need and try to help them and advocate for them too, and then our students, of course. But it's really been fun and exciting to see what's coming up in the works. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mosby. All right, if you want, you can.
Move into action items.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So I would entertain a motion to approve the salary scales that were presented to us this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary scales.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. So they stand approved. The Perkins plan that you just heard Ms. Mosby talk about. I need a motion to approve that plan.
I make the motion that we approve the Perkins plan presented tonight.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then finally, the update to our educational philosophy, file AD. Is there a motion to approve that as it was presented tonight?
I'll make a motion that we approve that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and so that stands approved as well. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Ms. Swing, we are ready for you to read us into closed session, please.
Madam Chair, I move that the board convene into closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the appointment, resignation, and retirement of employees of the school board and pursuant to section 2.2-3711A. Also, in consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing and open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body, and consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. For the purposes of this subdivision, probable litigation means litigation that has been specifically threatened or on which the public body or its legal counsel has a reasonable basis to believe will be commenced by or against a known party. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of a meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on a matter.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So we are in closed session.
Yes.
Okay.
I certify that the only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in motion by which the closed meeting was convened, were heard, discussed, or considered in our said meeting by this public body.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, and then I need a motion to convene in regular session.
I make a motion to convene in regular session.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Let's see, I need a motion to accept the Personnel 1.0 recommendations.
I make a motion to accept the personnel.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, so that is approved. And I don't see anything else, correct?
No, ma'am, that's correct.
So the date for the next regular board meeting is May 13th, 2025. It will be at 6 o'clock right here at the School Administration Building. And we are adjourned.